Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are doing our MTG keywords. Today we're looking at Goad. Again, in this series, what we do is we take a look at the word, or the keyword, and we explain how it works, talk about a similar keyword, and then we go over some budget picks for it. So here we go. Please hit like and subscribe. It makes such a big difference, and if you don't hit like and subscribe, all of your markers are going to be dry. They're just all at the same time. Just, yeah, you won't. Also your pens, you're going to want to use pens, and none of the pens will work. Okay, what is Goad? It was originally released in Conspiracy Take the Crown. Goad is a designation, so that basically just means it can be put on anything. It might not do anything on some things, but it still can be put on them. This is not limited to creatures unless the ability states otherwise. So a lot of things will say goad all creatures. Okay, then it's just creatures. But a lot of abilities will just say goad target whatever, target permanent or things like that. Then you could even goad an artifact or a land. Why might that be useful? If it becomes a creature, right? Goad lasts until the end of the next turn for the player granting it. Again, if I goad a creature until the beginning of my next turn, it's goaded. Not the beginning of that player's turn, because then it wouldn't really do anything. Essentially, it could be used on artifact vehicles when they become creatures. They would be forced to attack a different player. I wrote a different players there. I think I was getting distracted by my son when I was writing this, which is usually when I make mistakes, is because I am getting distracted, but yeah. The main thing is, especially against things like vehicles or even lands, if they're doing like a land creature deck, this is still very useful because you can make sure they still have to attack a different player. The affected creature must attack a different player if able. Again, player. It may not even attack a planeswalker or a different player controls. No, sorry, yeah. A planeswalker, a different player controls. So, like, maybe there's a different player and they do have a planeswalker. They still have to attack the the player. They're not allowed to attack their player's planeswalker either. So that could be quite useful. If there are no other players to attack, the affected creature must attack you or a planeswalker. So basically, if there are no other players, this does nothing is what it means. So they can attack anything they want if there's no other player. That's kind of one of the downsides to Goad, is that as soon as the other players are gone, this doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I guess they're still forced to attack. Or is it even for... but it can attack you. It is still forced to attack, so it still does something, but not what you want it to, maybe. Multiple instances of Goad from different players will take effect. So if you goad a creature like 5 times, that doesn't really do anything different than the first time, right? But if, say, 2 different players each goad the same creature, then that creature is going to have to go and attack a different player. So multiple instances of goad can exist on the same creature. It's not like if I goad something and someone else goads the same thing, it cancels mine. It'll just keep piling up, adding more and more restrictions. I actually wonder what would happen if, like, every player goaded a creature. It doesn't actually have a clarification for that, so I'm not sure. But anyway. Sound familiar? Okay, this inspired a more recent mechanic, Suspect. Suspect is kind of a reworking of Goad, I'd say. Suspect stays on the unit until it leaves the battlefield or the status is removed. So they actually have to, like, take Suspect off. It is a status, so yeah, it is for creatures specifically, and it goes on the creature and it stays there. It is not like Goad where at the end of the beginning of that player's next turn, it's just gone. It stays until it is specifically, like, until basically you take it off and it treated it like a new unit, or you remove it. Suspected creatures cannot block but gain menace, so they can't block but they gain menace. That really means that you're just, like, incentivizing them to attack. Yeah, attack. Mana evasion plus no blocking. There's no point in not attacking, right? Sure. Alright, while it does not place a limitation on targets for attack, it does incentivize attack by leaving no purpose to having them untapped. Again, the Goad actually says you must attack. This does not, so it is different, but it's kind of like, it's a more meta kind of thing, I think, where it's like, if you're not attacking, then what's the point? So yeah. These two especially are great together, right? Synergizing them, I think, is a really good idea. So yeah. They're definitely not something where it's like one or the other, or they're not even really redundant. So yeah, having both is great. Number 5. Okay, the Rani from our background art here. Again, 1 Grixis, so blue, black, red for this 3/4. 3/4 for 4? Not great, not bad. Whenever the Rani enters the battlefield or attacks, create a red aura enchantment named Mark of the Rani. Rani? I don't know. Attached to another target creature. That token has... enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. So whenever a goaded creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, investigate. So this has 2 huge advantages for Goad decks, right? First of all, every time a goaded creature does damage to another player, you're getting another bonus by investigating. You're making clue tokens. That can be card draw, that can count as artifacts, that can be used in so many ways. Also, yeah, Goad, one of the major limitations is usually that at the beginning of your next turn, it's just gone. It's over. This makes it into enchantment, so it just stays goaded forever, right? So you can just keep throwing these on creatures over and over and over. It is only once per turn, which is still once per turn for like the rest of the game, unless they have some shenanigans having something goaded and +2. You put that on the right creature, and oh my gosh, like if they have say like a Voltron, if you can get this on like a Voltron commander type of thing and force them to attack the other players, they'll be one-shotting them pretty quick. The problem is that then you're next in line. So yeah, maybe have a plan for that, but still, 10 cents. Number 4, Vengeful Ancestor. Okay, 2 red for this 3/4 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, goad target creature. Sure, not bad. Whenever a goaded creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. This is why we really want Vengeful Ancestor. All of those force attacks you're getting people to do, that's gonna hurt them for doing it. And maybe ideally the other players as well. So you're really just causing mayhem. Especially if you can copy things, this becomes insanely powerful. Like you just copy this, even 2 copies of this is going to be 3 damage per attack, right? Oh, sorry, per time it deals damage, not per attack, sorry, per damage instance. It's going to add up fast. Anyway, 39 cents. Number 3. Okay, Carter Doom Scourge, 2 black-red for this 4/3. So this is actually not really Goad. Okay, it has the same effect as Goad, but it doesn't actually give... Like, it doesn't say Goad. It doesn't use the keyword. It has the effect, though. Anyway, so when it enters the battlefield until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able, and attack a player other than you if able. So yeah, everyone just has to attack each other. All the creatures on the battlefield at that time just have to like swing at each other. Very, very useful. Remember, once they've all attacked, unless they've got a whole bunch of vigilance creatures, they're probably all tapped down, and that means you get a free swing at them. Also, whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. An attacking creature dies. So this includes yours, right? You could even potentially just like make a whole bunch of tokens, swing with all of them, and just like board wipe yourself, and then hey, that counts, right? You're gonna like take away everyone else's life and pump yourself up, on top of like forcing everyone else to attack each other. So very, very useful little trick. Anyway, 41 cents. Number 2. Hot Pursuit. So 1 and a red. This is an enchantment, finally not a creature. So when it enters the battlefield, suspect target creature an opponent controls as long as it remains on the battlefield. That creature is also goaded. So this is going to do both. I talked about the synergy earlier, and one of the major limitations is that as soon as the other players are gone, you're just the target then, right? That's becomes kind of a bad thing. Maybe you've given them damage bonuses and stuff, and now they're going to like the Rani is going to give them those damage bonuses, and now that's coming at you. So you've gotten rid of 2 players, but your problem is that last player. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more players have lost the game, gain control of all goaded and or suspected creatures until end of turn, untap them. They gain haste until end of turn. So all of those things that you've goaded or suspected, which is hopefully everything they have, you're just taking them all and you're untapping them, and you're just going to swing with everything they have right at their own head. Like, hopefully that's your win right there, right? This is kind of a win con. Maybe not an ideal win con, especially if if it's right when they eliminate that, the 3rd player, let's say. So it's down to you 2, and then it's your turn. You take their whole board, swing with it right at them, and hopefully knock them out right there. 10 cents for 2 mana, a finisher for 2 mana at 10 cents. That's crazy. Number 1. Okay, Disrupt Decorum. 2 red. Goad all creatures you don't control. All creatures. This is just like everybody has to attack somebody else. One thing I do want to point out is that if you go on Google and check the AI, don't trust AI. The AI says that goaded creatures cannot block. Suspected creatures cannot block. Goaded creatures can. There are some cards that say goad creature and it's unable to block. That does happen, but that means that that's not the rule, because the card wouldn't say that if it already was true. That's like destroy target creature goes to the graveyard. That's the same thing. They don't say that. Anyway. So yeah, this just is going to like, ideally you use this to set things up. Things like making sure, like knocking out the other players and stuff like that, so that you can use Hot Pursuit and then you're going to just take the game from there. Alright, anyway, 46 cents, 4 mana to force everyone else to attack each other. The list. Okay, the Rani, 10 cents. Vengeful Ancestor is 39 cents. Carter. I think I always say Carter. But anyway, the Doom Scourge, 41 cents. Hot Pursuit is 10 cents. Disrupt Decorum is 46 cents. Alright, take it easy.